Continue. One should not sit in his presence until he tells him to sit. Right? So usually rabbis come into the room, so everybody stands up. Right? He said, "Please sit down," and everybody sits. So, but the humble person, the humble rabbi, he would come earlier, so before everybody else. You understand? So he would not bother all of the people that now he comes in and they need to stand. Okay. Okay, so 68. The Midrash Rabbah, Rus 4.2, makes a similar statement based on Boaz's instruction to the elders of Bethlehem. One should not sit in presence until he tells him to sit. Okay, so say, okay, but once Rabbi came in, so he said, okay, please sit down, everybody sits, no problem. One should not stand before him until he tells him to stand or until he receives permission to stand. Okay. So what does it mean, 69? Der Heretz Rabbah, chapter 5 states, a person should not depart from a teacher or a colleague unless he takes leave of him or receive permission from him. So you cannot just stand up and leave if it's your teacher. If it's a pikoris, you're allowed it, or somebody is speaking Lashon Hara, or today, that's what is expected of you. But if it's your teacher, so you're not allowed just leave. So you ask him permission to leave. So you need to go, I know where you need to go, take care of your family, whatever, doctor's appointment, whatever you need. So you ask, preferably before, right? So the teacher knows exactly, so you don't have to like announce to everybody else where you need to go, right? So you ask the teacher, can I go? I apologize, I need to leave. He said, no problem, please go. See you tomorrow, see you I don't know when. And there is no problem, you can leave. But you have to ask permission. You don't just stand up and go. Continue. When one departs from his teacher, one should not turn his back to him. Commentary. For turning one's back to one's teacher is not sign of respect. And same that's what we do in when we leave the shul, synagogue, right? So at least, of course, you cannot go all the way back, like all the time back. Of course, that's not what we do. And same, actually, it's very interesting. Same applies to Western Wall, right, in Jerusalem, Wailing Wall. So up to some point, really we turn our back to the wall and walk normally, like towards the exit, but then we turn facing the wall and walk backwards. I don't know how many feet. That's a proper thing to do, and same applies to the shul as well, right? You're in a synagogue, so at least last 4 amos, at least last 7 to 8 feet, right? You turn around facing Aron Kodesh, where the Torah are kept, even though it's closed, Ark is closed, everything does not make any difference. Shekhinah is there, godly presence is there. You turn your face facing Aron Kodesh, and you back to the door. Okay, same with teacher, right? Otherwise, it's, as we said, sign of disrespect. Continue. Yeah, go ahead. Yes.
I'm sorry.
No, don't be sorry. I mean, I'm fine. Go ahead, please.
Is that the same? Would that be the same meaning when we do the Amidah at the very end, taking the steps backwards? Wouldn't that be considered the same thing, or?
I mean, it's same, very similar idea. So we stand in front of the godly presence, right? And we finish praying, and then you start walking back. But the halachah is how you start walking back. You start walking back with your left foot, not with your right foot. You usually, I mean, if you right it, that's how you do. You do it with the right foot, but not when during the Amidah. So you start walk back with your left foot. Why? Because you don't want to leave. You must stop with your audience with HaShem, right? Because your Amidah is over on one hand. On the other hand, you show that I don't want to leave. And how I don't want to leave? I start walking with my weaker foot, which is the left one. I mean, if you right it. If you right it, so you do opposite. But that's That's the idea. Yes. But in this case, there is no way for you to turn around. I mean, you always facing. But it's like similar idea, respect. Okay. So very good question. Rather, one should walk backwards while facing him, right? So and same as we said in the synagogue. So let's see the commentary. Yoma 53a relates that the Kohanim and Levites would follow this procedure when departed from the temple service. So from temple, for sure, there is when godly presence, yeah, you turn your face to the Holy of Holies, right? And you start backing off. It continues to recommend that the same procedure is adopted by the student when departing from their teacher. So since since this teacher who taught us Torah, he's actually like in some sense it's a messenger of HaShem. So, and if you connect to your teacher in the right way, so HaShem would send you the right information, the right messages through your teacher. He's going to tell you what you need to hear, right? And that's why the secret is it's very beneficial to be a teacher. How is it beneficial? That you're going to learn much more than a regular person, right? As it says in Pirkei Avos, it says, I learn a lot from my teacher, even more from my colleagues, but the most of my learning came from my students. So, okay, from my teacher, of course I learned from my teacher. I knew exactly zero. I learned from my teacher. Okay, it's understandable, logical, right? I learned from my colleagues. Of course, he challenged me. Why do you say that? No, you're not right. Let's look into it. And you argue and this and that, and you come up with the truth, the right answer, right? That's how you learn a lot from your colleagues. But how from your students, right? How much does not make sense? They know zero or a little, and you teach them, so they benefit. How you benefit? So it said, no, not true, my friend. Said that Hashem is going to send them Torah through you. So otherwise you would get only your own portion of the Torah, whatever is it, individual portion. But because these people must learn Torah, so Hashem would send their portions through you. So it's like, even though you're messengers, but you get some, dividends from that. It's very interesting.